Welcome to the InnerMission Podcast. And yes, it's absolutely a play on words. This is a space where I talk with your favorite entertainers and creators about the in-between moments of life. We're exploring that pause life forces us to take sometimes and discovering what our inner mission truly is when we get rid of that noise. This podcast is for anyone who is tired of performing in life and is ready to start aligning with their true mission. So, come take a pause with me. Hello.
What's up, girl?
Is that my girl?
Answer the door.
Come on in. Come on in. We have the one and only, the actrice, the director, the executive producer, the businesswoman, the wife, sister, homegirl, the one and only Meagan Good. Welcome to the InnerMission, girl.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. So I like to start with my guests with the origin of your name. Meagan Good. How did you get your name? Who named you?
Oh, mine's so my mom and dad, well, it's really interesting. My mom and dad thought I was going to be a boy.
Okay.
And in the 11th hour, they realized that I was a girl.
In the 11th hour.
There's a lot of different stories about this, right?
Okay.
So my mom said, well, who's the president? And they said Reagan. And she said, well, just take the R off and put an M. So that's why it's spelled M-E-A-G-A-N.
No way.
But then my mother also says that my name is Meagan.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, Mommy, the other story doesn't work if it's Meagan, so it's gotta be one or the other. So I don't really know.
What does Meagan mean?
I don't know. I don't know, but
Okay.
so it's either Meagan or Megan. I like to pronounce it Megan, but everybody pronounces it Megan, but it's actually Megan to me at least.
Okay. So Good. The last name Good comes from?
So my dad found out when he was 28 that his stepfather wasn't his real father.
Wow.
And he was named after his stepfather, Leondis Good.
Now, did you ever meet?
I actually met Leondis when I was about 13.
Okay.
And I met my dad's real father, whose name was Sonny Taylor, probably around when I was about 14 or 15.
Okay.
But I didn't know that it was my grandfather until years later. I actually ran into a cousin at Sundance, my second year there, who was like, hey, I'm your cousin. I was like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, no, I am.
Because everybody want to be your cousin.
Okay. Well, I was just like, I've never met you before. And I'm like, who are you related to? And he's like, on your dad's side. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I know my cousins. And he was like, no. And he shows me a picture of me and my dad and my stepmom and my sister and my dad's dad, who was my grandfather and his wife. And I was like, yeah, I remember this. This was in Chinatown in LA. I remember meeting this couple. And he was like, yeah, that's your grandfather. And I was like,
wild.
Hold on. So I'm like, Daddy, is this my grandfather? He was like, yeah, who showed you that? I'm like, Daddy.
That's not the point. The point is, I didn't know who my granddaddy was.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's an interesting story. But my dad is very, very protective. And so, yes, I am a Good. Technically, it's my dad's a Good. But it would have been a Taylor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Meagan Taylor. Both
have the ring.
But not like Meagan Good. Meagan Good, because, you've made that name, though.
Thank you.
That's coming from what you brought to the name.
Thank you.
So let's get into that. And normally I try not to hold these, but your resume is so long. Sis, I have to talk about it. So my first introduction to you was actually Cousin Skeeter.
Oh, wow.
That's what I first watched.
Yeah.
But I have to admit something, that it was Robert Richard that got me.
Robert Shaw.
He was so fine. It was the lead guy. It was so fine.
No, that's so fun. Everybody will love that.
Girl, with a camera. I'm married, but it was Robert, girl.
Yeah.
But you did your thing, obviously. And after that, it was, you guest spotted, recurred, or was a series regular on every major show in the 90s. And I just have to get this out. So famous Jet Jackson, which was my show as well.
Rest in peace, Lee.
And Lee, actually, I didn't know him personally, but here we go with somebody talking about their cousins. Because it was someone at my hometown church, because I'm from South Carolina, and I believe he was from South Carolina. I could be wrong about that. But they were like cousins and family and stuff. But, you know, as a child, a youngster, I was like, I know Jet Jackson's cousins. like that was all I had. But Parenthood, Steve Harvey Show, Moesha, My Wife and Kids. Let's not forget about Friday and Eve's Bayou.
Right.
Crazy. That's just the 90s. 2000s, you hit us with classics like The Cookout, You Got Served, Roll Bounce, Stomp the Yard, All of Us, and The Game. That's just a few from 2000s. Then you hit us the next decade with Think Like a Man 1 and 2. Girl, just sitting with you and saying all this, it's like, thank you, God. This is major. Deception, Minority Report, Day Shift, Shazam, which I was so hyped when I saw your black ass in that.
Thank you.
I was like, she's winning! In Harlem. We all love Harlem. So my biggest question to you, I need to know about the 90s. Please tell me you were cocky. I would have been so cocky if my resume was that long. You couldn't tell me nothing.
Right.
I mean, who was Meagan during those days? 90s?
It was a different time in the 90s. When I did Deception when I was 30, I was only the second Black woman to lead a TV show ever on NBC, ever, after Diane Carroll. And I was 30, and that was 2012 or 13. So in the 90s, growing up in this business.
Can we just pause for that?
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
You and Diane Carroll.
Yeah.
2011.
2013. 12 or 13.
It don't even matter.
Yeah.
That is crazy to think about. Okay. May you continue.
Yes. So it really was a different time. So being on Nickelodeon and being in Friday and all that, I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. So I dealt with a lot of racism, a lot of name calling, a lot of people attempting to put you in your place. Luckily, I definitely had the audacity to be like, what are you talking about? I'm beautiful. Don't try to say I'm not pretty. Don't try to say I'm not talented. Don't try to say I'm not this. I can do this. I believe in myself. And I don't know where I got that from. Maybe just, you know, my mom and my sister. A lot, actually, I'd say a lot of my mom and sister, because they were the only real Black women that I had to look at, you know?
And were they like that way too? Or were they shy? Or were they?
My mom could be a little shy and a little more like demure and like, you know, my sister, she don't give up about, she don't care. And especially if you come from me, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's done data. So I think a combination of what I saw with them, I think empowered me. It did make me confident. And then I had confidence just inside myself where I was just like, I know I'm going to make it. I know I'm going to win. The more you tell me no, the more excited I am about the yes that I know that God's going to give me. And that all of that just fueled me. So I wouldn't say I was cocky, but I would say that I was sure of myself and I was confident and I was extremely determined, especially where I came from, where even thinking about, you know, trying to pursue acting was just not a realistic thing. And teachers would tell me all the time, well, you need to get, you know, a plan B. And I'm like, you get a plan B, then you land in plan B. I'm only believing in plan A, you know?
So there never was a plan B?
Never.
Like even in like the most doubted moments, did you ever feel like maybe I should pivot? Because I felt that way once, crazy enough, in like maybe 3 years ago, where I was like, you know what? Not that I wanted a plan B or the work wasn't coming. It was the industry was so, it was taking from me the joy that I had for the thing. And I was like, you know what? Y'all can miss me with this. I don't think it's worth it because I love this too much, you know? And so if I have to pivot, I'll pivot. I wonder if you've ever felt like...
Well, it's twofold. Definitely have had moments where the industry, where, you know, my mom used to always say, like, you work in it, but you're not of it.
Right.
It's what you do, but it's not who you are.
Did you get that from the beginning? Like, did you
I got that very, very early on. And by the time I was 19, I was like, the ideas that I had about the industry. You know, I don't believe in competition. I believe what you bring is different than what I bring, and there's room for both of us. We should be uplifting each other. We should be encouraging each other. We shouldn't be hating on each other, talking bad about each other, wishing each other doesn't do well. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I've never been a believer in that. And I had to learn that right away.
Yeah.
In this industry right away. Because there was another sister that when I went to Juilliard, and it was just us, 2 Black girls, and they tried to do that
Pit
with
you
us.
against each other, yeah.
And I immediately said, I can't operate like this. We have to be cheerleaders. And now we family. Like, I'm her child's godmother and vice versa. Like, so yeah, totally with you on that.
Yeah. And I think that's so important because we're all on the journey. We're all just walking it out. We're all just figuring it out. And what we all bring is so unique to who we are. But I had ideas around just what I felt was important and being very specific about not believing my own hype. I was blessed to have the opportunity to, you know, growing up I'm a Valley girl through and through. Like when you talk about Valley girls, they're like I'm a Valley girl like that.
So what makes a Valley girl
Santa Clarita? Like, it's just a part of the Valley, and it's a way that you talk. It's not even so much like an archetype as much as it's like there's a cadence that we have. There's a way that we approach things. We're very free spirited. We're very outgoing. We're like, everything's gonna work out. Everything is like sunshine and like you figure it out, it'll be fine. Glass half full, you know, on your worst day, thankful for at least what you had on the other side of it. Just it's a
maybe
mentality.
I'm a Valley girl too.
You sounded like one.
Valley girl. Do they make those?
Yes, why not? Shoot. And I feel like too, like there's a lot of valleys in different places. You know, there's a lot of different states and cities that have valleys within them. So yeah, I just never believed in that. And so I think that kind of really set me on my course. So when I would run into that, it would grieve my spirit. I'd just be like, oh, but I don't have a problem with you. Like, I want to see you win. I don't know why you have a problem with me. I don't even know you. You know? And it's crazy to me. So there were seasons for sure where I was like, I don't want to go to this event because I don't feel like being around these people. I can't stand the energy. I can't stand the fakeness. And like, I have grace for it. And I even have love for people who are figuring it out, as we all are, but I can only take it in increments. And so that made me a little bit more like, I don't know, you know, if I want to do this or not. And then the other thing we spoke about, that one particular project where it was like just a constant battle, and this particular director was really rude. That they really didn't know what they wanted with the show. There was a lot of people's hands in the pots, you know, giving me one direction from the showrunner, they're giving me a different direction from the director, they're giving me a different direction from the producer, and then saying action all within a 3-minute conversation. And so it was just so overwhelming for me that I came off of that project like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. This was like a really horrible experience. But then again, as we talked about earlier, what I did come away with it was is the attitude and the mentality of like, well, that's as bad as it can get from me. Those are my worst fears and things I would not want to experience. And I experienced them firsthand, hardcore. And if I survived that and I came through that, then I came through better than when I went in, which means I can survive anything. So in the long run, all of it has only made me stronger. But in the process, you know, you definitely have those moments where you're like, I don't know if this is worth it.
That's how I was feeling, Meagan. I was like, I don't know if this is worth it. And I really had to learn the difference for myself of what faith looked like and hope looked like. I think I've always been super hopeful for things and just have this feeling of like, I don't know, like it can happen. It's going to be all right and good, Valley girlish. But then like faith is just there's something deeper about the faith, because it's like when you don't see it coming, you have to believe that it's all going to work in your favor. And that wasn't strong. I had to like strengthen that part of it to like get me to say, you know what, I'm going to stay in it. I'm not going to like quit and get out of it. I'm going to, girl, literally take free to school, be listening to gospel music, you know, trying to like get myself crying in the car, you know, just trying to figure out how to get through the thing. I'm curious on how you find your peace in this industry, because I feel like there's been moments where, like, for example, you'll go to an event or a carpet and you do run into so many energies, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my God, I wasn't ready for them to say that, do that, act that way, da 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 da. And so immediately I've trained myself when I go to these events, because I'm not Hollywood. Like your mama say, like, I do the thing, but I'm not of the thing.
Yep.
I'm not Hollywood. And so I have to pray in my little SUV or whatever they send me to go. I immediately say some type of prayer to like kind of recalibrate myself.
Yep.
So I'm curious, like, do you have anything like that you do, or, you know?
Yeah, prayer is prayer is everything. You know, God already knows what we need. So if he asks us to pray, there's a reason for it, you know? So definitely a lot of prayer. And then I use it as an opportunity to sharpen the intention of who I want to be. You know, when someone says something to me that's offensive, or when someone tries to like catch me off guard with a question that they know that I probably wouldn't have wanted to answer, when someone tries to give me a certain kind of energy in a place, or it's like, who do I want to be? I want to have control over myself. I don't want anyone else controlling the integrity of how I respond. I don't want anyone having control over my emotions. I don't want anyone having control over how I feel or think about myself or see myself.
Come on, sis.
So I use all of those.
Teach us.
Listen, I think that it's an opportunity every single time to grow and to have grace for someone else, and to love even the stone thrower, even if you don't like them, even if you don't deal with them, even if you don't fuck with them, but still having love for other human beings, still seeing their shortcomings, rather it's meant to just be nasty, or rather it's just coming from a place of ignorance and insecurity, and somebody putting their stuff on you.
That part. Like, people's days are so... But I hate that. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is people putting whatever they're going through onto me. It's like, I wish the world could get to a place, which is being human, but like get to a place of dealing with your stuff and taking that on, and figuring out how to heal yourself, versus like splattering all that onto somebody else.
I'm big on that on set. Because if I gotta live with you, and on set we gotta live together. You know, we're not. It's even if it's a movie, it's like we may be there for a month, 2, 3, 4, whatever. If it's a TV show, we're talking about 5, 6, 7 months. Every single day we're in each other's space, and so in that sense, that would frustrate me more. But I would also just like either go to that person and see if they need anything, or offer to pray with them, or whatever it is. And sometimes that may backfire, and in that case, I just kind of keep my distance. And there's a very kind of rebelliousness to me that has helped me survive. And it's kind of like, if someone tries to force something on me, I absolutely refuse to take it on. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. You're not going to make me unhappy. You're not going to make me feel uncomfortable. You're not going to ruin my day. As a matter of fact, I'm going to treat you with love and respect, and then I'm going to keep my distance and keep it pushing. Everything that you got going on is not going to infiltrate what I have going on, even if I have to share space with you. But I would love to fix it, or help, or be supportive, or whatever it is. But if that's not what the person wants, and they want you to try to carry their stuff, then that's where I'm like, no, we're going to put the shield up, and I'm going to do it in love, and I'm going to still be who I am, boundaries. But I'm going to have the boundary. Yeah, exactly.
Boundaries.
Exactly.
So I want to do a little quick rapid fire. Girl, you like you some Fritos.
I do. I love me some Fritos. I usually put some chili on them, some cheese on them.
That is your thing. Okay. Rapid fire. Since we're talking about Fritos, what's your favorite go-to movie snack?
Popcorn and Raisinets together.
So tasty. Popcorn and hot sauce. That's
I like popcorn, but I like sweet and
it's
salty.
About you, so I'm gonna let you have that. Okay, text message or voice memos?
Oh, if it's over a minute and 30 seconds, then I'm gonna do the text message. But I love voice memos because it's just like you can get it done.
Yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Whitesnake, Here I Go Again, On My Own, or Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, or Papa Roach, Last Resort.
Okay, you gonna give us one?
No.
You want to sing with me? I was singing with you.
Which one?
What's the first one you said?
Whitesnake, Here I Go Again.
Here I go,
again on my own. Going down the only road. that I've ever
No,
known.
sing, Megan, because I don't know these words.
Like a drifter, I was born
to live alone. To walk alone. Okay.
And I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no time.
Okay, Raz.
Here I go again.
Let's get into the Raz.
You
did a little growl there.
I did.
That was good. That was
I
good.
tried. Thank you.
That was good.
I committed a bit.
You committed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, sweet or we talked about that. You said savory.
Sweet if I have to choose, it's gonna be a donut. But I like to have salty to have savory. I like to have savory to have sweet.
What kind of donut? Like
bacon and maple,
okay.
or
like the thick ones, or like the Krispy Kreme type.
I like those too. I like the soft ones really more than anything. Okay. But I just like donuts, like blueberry. All of it.
See, we could be in the same space because everything you like, you can have, and I'm gonna take mine. We're not gonna be fighting. It's good. This is good. This is good. And early bird or night owl?
Both. I'm a night owl by nature. I've always been a night owl, but Jonathan's an early bird, so now I've been getting into bed earlier. Or even if I go to bed late, I still am getting up earlier.
Oh, man. Yeah, because I heard he get up like 4 or 5 in the morning.
He
do. So Dennis does too. Like kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I support you, baby.
Same. So I'm curious. Have you ever, this is just one of them silly questions, but I'm so curious. Have you ever been broke, girl?
Many times.
Because your jobs, it's just like you just hit them.
Many times.
Okay, you got to tell me, what does broke look like for Meagan Good?
Broke. So it's interesting because I think, like when I said earlier about not believing your own hype.
Yeah.
Being broke or certain situations is the biggest blessing because it helps you have perspective. Mm-hmm. Like I remember going to a club and I, would stand outside for like 45 minutes just to get in. And most people are like, I'm gonna leave. And I'm like, no, I want to go in the club. I want to enjoy myself. So I'm gonna wait these 45 minutes.
Wow.
And then you come back 6 months later and you got a movie in the theaters and you walk straight through with 5 guys and they give you a free table and a bottle, And then cut to a year later and you don't have anything out. You may get in, but your friends ain't getting it. They're going to have to wait. You have to wait at the door for them.
I hate it. It's
you
so
may or may
much.
not get a table, But what it taught me is that none of it's personal. None of it's about me. And everybody has their own stuff going on. And so I appreciate it in certain seasons, and other seasons I don't take it personal and I don't let it dictate how I feel about myself.
I know, yes.
And I think that was a really important lesson for me. So even with films, it's like, or shows, like I would have something out and I'd be working and I'd have money and I'd be fine. But I also was helping a lot of people. I also was paying a lot of people's bills. I also was like the person, if a friend didn't have somewhere to live or stay, they'd come stay with me.
So you're a giver.
I'm a giver. My mom, like I remember we had a 4-bedroom house growing up. And at one point we had 16 people living with us.
Wow.
And that is just how my mom always was and always has been. So that is a part of what she imparted to me. I just had to learn boundaries as I got older because when I was younger, I didn't have any. So I would give and give and give until I was broke. And I'd be, I would have like a big old movie in theaters. Oh, no. And I'd be like scrounging to get styled and like, asking a friend, like, can you pay for my lunch? And like, they had to put gas in the car. But they never minded doing it for me because everyone knew if I had the money, I was paying for everyone's lunch. If we were going in someone's car, I was going to fill their car up. If they, I always gave enough that if I did need, it wasn't an issue for me to ask or for someone to offer. But what I realized, because, I would pray about like, well, Lord, why do I keep ended up broke like this? And I just felt like the Lord was like, if I didn't tell you to do that, like, it may be you're a beautiful little bleeding heart trying to help everybody, but didn't nobody tell you to do that. How about you wait and do what I tell you to do? And you're going to be okay.
That's
so I was
deep.
So I had to learn.
Me and my mom, she's a giver like that too. Yeah. And I think there's moments where she would really give her whole house if she could. It's one of those things where somebody's in need, she's giving the car. And it's like, Ma, like, God ain't tell you to do that.
Right.
And then she started calling me because, we done made it. So it's like, Danielle, give your car. And I'm like, God ain't tell you
to do that. No.
I'm exaggerating, Mom, because Mom would think I'm serious. But I'm trying to say her heart is that big, too.
My mom
you know
too.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that big. So at one point, that's what I've really appreciated about your career. I think you've been able to do so many different things and not stay in one place. Mm-hmm. But at one point, you was that girl. You was in the sense of girlfriend, lover, just all of that. And did you ever feel like you were trying to break through this wall, and just trying to not stay in a box? And how did you finally break that box?
Like I said, there wasn't a lot of Black women for me to look at in the neighborhood that I grew up in. So I really looked up to Halle Berry and Angela Bassett and Whitney Houston. I remember when Waiting to Exhale came out, and those were the examples that I had of what I wanted to be.
Girl.
And so as a child, I knew that I was getting into that place of transitioning from child actor to an adult actor. And I knew that it was much harder to do then. If you had been on a show and you think about people like Tatiana Ali or Maya Campbell or whoever it is, people are like, well, you're just that character. And it's like, no, they're not just that character. They're actors. They can do anything and everything across the board.
That's right.
And unfortunately, it was a struggle for a lot of us to kind of make that transition. So for me, I was like, how do I get people to see me as an adult? I remember being turning 23 or 24 while I was shooting Roll Bounce. Bow Wow was 16 and I was playing 16.
Crazy.
And I was just like, how do I get people to believe me as an adult? And so at that time, I ended up doing the 21 Questions video. And I was like,
I remember that, girl. That was one of my favorite rap songs.
But that was a turning point, you know, because I knew it was a national commercial. It was a national commercial for she's now an adult. She's arrived as a young woman now. She's no longer a kid. And I knew I knew it would do exactly what it did, which was why I did it.
Now, how did you know? Okay, say what you're going to say, then I got my question.
No, the problem is that it worked too well. Because then once I got into that space, I was happy to do it. But then by the time I started getting 26, 27, I was like, okay, guys, I'm more than just the girlfriend. I'm more than just the love interest. I'm more than the girl next door. And unfortunately, a lot of people were just like, no, just be pretty. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm an actress. I can do all kinds of different things. And you ain't gonna look the same for the rest of your life. We're out here doing art and creating. And it was just really a challenge. And so one of the things that helped me was going back to TV, because I hadn't done TV since I was a teenager, since I was 15, 16 when I did Cousin Skeeter. And so I was like, you know what? I need to get out of the movie space. I need to be in people's living rooms. I need them to be able to sit with me and get to know me and see me in a different light. And so first thing I did was cut my hair off because I just had the long kind of stripper hair. And I was like, I got to change that. And then I went and did Deception.
Girl, see, this is the thing I wish I had when I came. So with Orange, I always say this, we became famous in 13 hours. I was 22 when that happened.
Wow.
I didn't know jack shit. I knew nothing. I was so green. And I hated it in the long run because I felt like if I would have came into this industry with some knowledge of how to run it, I would have gotten so much further. I didn't know anything, Meagan. I'll never forget Natasha Lyonne took me and Samira Wiley to this Eminem concert, and they gave us these badges that said celebrity. We were like, celebrities for us? He was like, yeah, you a celebrity. We were like, we ain't no damn celebrity, but the show just came out. And we do the carpet, and I had leggings had holes in them. I didn't have my hair done, so I had this wrap on. I had put this red lipstick on. It was a mess. But I just had wished that I had just knowledge. So when I hear you talk about just being able to know enough to say, let's switch things. Let's, go to the TV. Let's change the hair. That to me, I'm curious on, do you have mentors that have been helped you, or was it that you were just watching how Halle Berry or whomever, Angela, was moving? Was you talking to them about how to move? What was that?
It's a little bit of everything. When I started, I really didn't know what I was doing either. And my mom had no idea what she was doing. She was out there managing us, me and Lamaya, when we were 10 and 12 years old. And we figured out everything along the way. And as you figured it out, you go, oh, well, okay, so if I chest move this, and if I chest move that, and all in the spirit of chest moves, that you can look yourself in the mirror and feel proud of who you are. But it was like, okay, I learned really quick with Eve's Bayou. I had been trying to get a dramatic role since I was like, not for that long, but in my little young mind, it was so long, like from like 9 to 14. And I finally got Eve's Bayou. Originally, crazy enough, when they did the table read for Eve's Bayou, I had played Eve because I was 10. And I waited 4 years for that movie to get made. And I was like, okay, I have to play Cicely. I'm going to be Cicely. And that's going to happen. And so after doing that, when I auditioned for Cousins Theater, I didn't realize that a TV show was so much different than a movie. And so I didn't realize that I was going to be in a contract for 3 years, almost 4 years. And I remember like running into Terrence Howard, who was on Sparks at the time, and he had did a TV show with my sister and Kenny Blake and George Wallace back in the day. And so Terrence was just like, yeah, when you get off this show, he was like, go do film. And I was like, why are you saying that? He was like, because you're young, you need to travel, you need to not know where you're going to be or what character you're going to play. You just need to go be free. And he was like, go do TV when you get married, when you have kids, when you want to settle down, when you want stability, when you want to know where you're going to work, who you're going to work with, and what the character is. And I was like, okay. And right after that, I had started feeling trapped on the show. And there was nothing I could do because I was in contract. And so as I went along, every single stage and every part of the stage and journey was just me going, well, what do I really want? How do I think I can make that happen? And I didn't really have any mentors. The only mentor I really had was my godfather, Jim Brown, who was a mentor in terms of just being, about activist work, about speaking up, about never compromising what I believe to be true, no matter what anybody thinks. That was like the most kind of like mentor I had with that in terms of using my platform as a celebrity for something bigger than myself. But in terms of navigating being a young woman in the industry, a lot of people weren't as nice either, like it was like, I remember distinctly the transition of, oh, little baby Meagan, she's so cute, to like me running up 5 years later to the same woman and still in my mind, I'm still baby Meagan. And they're looking at me like, when did she get breast? And like, and we're going for the same role, except for I'm 24 and they're 32 and I'm not cute little 17-year-old Meagan anymore. And so it was a lot of like transition and learning and like, just figuring out by yourself. I don't think any of us really know. And even if we have mentors, again, I think it helps a lot, but our journeys are so unique. And I think even the stuff that we wish maybe had gone differently, it helps build who we are now,
For sure.
And like for instance, like you were saying, like how you showed up on that red carpet, some little girl somewhere else feels like that is more realistic for her to get to where you now are, just because she saw you like that as you were starting out, because she identifies, and she's like, well, if she came from that to that, well, I can be that too.
This is a great point, because we don't all start polished and in perfection, and like most of us don't. Like,
no, most of us don't. And if we polish on the outside,
exactly.
girl,
What's going on in the inside?
Okay?
Right.
So,
what do you feel about, like, do you feel sisterhood has changed in this industry?
Yes.
From back then to now, to in the best way? And because I feel like it's changed. I've only been in it 14 years.
Yeah, 14 years is a long time.
I know,
girl. A lot happened in 14 years.
Okay. I'm out here outside. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Okay? But yes, I have felt a shift. But when I came in, I was just hitting into a new shift in the industry. Where for you, first, second lead in a show, we're hitting into a place where there can be 6 or 7 of us on one show. And so the sisterhood immediately was there, Now we had our trials and tribulations trying to figure it out, because we were newbies coming into fame and status and class, just trying to figure that out. But we still supported each other. We still had each other's back. So that was really my intro into the industry. It wasn't like standalone, it's me and against everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
But you feel like it's shifted, especially like being in Harlem, I'm sure.
I do. Well, Harlem is the best professional experience I've ever had, ever. Wow. And which translates to one of the best personal experiences I ever had. Working with Shaniqua and Jerry and Grace and Tracy Oliver and even, Amy Poehler. And I mean, just the whole entire group of people, and of women especially, but a group of people was just really Mimi and anyway. But it just, everyone was so wanting to see each other win, wanting to create space for each other to do their best work. Everyone was so comfortable and confident and felt so safe. And you just never know how it's going to be on any set, as you know. You never know how it's going to be when it's a bunch of women. I know how I'm going to be. I'm always going to move in love, no matter what someone gives me. But it doesn't mean they're always going to receive that back. And so with Harlem, it was just everything that you would hope it would be. And I used to have a bit of a reputation for, when I came off of Cousin Skeeter, for over a decade, I didn't do TV unless I was reoccurring or a guest spot, but I wouldn't come on as a regular because I didn't want to get stuck in a contract. I was terrified. And so
you was like, miss me with that.
Yeah, I was like, no, thank you. I won't be sitting anywhere for a few years. And then I remember doing a season of Californication, and then after that came Deception. And I remember when Deception didn't get picked up for another season, I was like, I'm okay with that. I loved it here, but I'm okay with that. But with Harlem, I knew it was going to get picked up, and I was like, and I know I'm going to be happy here. If I end up being here for a few years, I really know I'm going to be happy here. I knew that from the moment that I met Tracy Oliver, because she's as awkward as I am and awesome and just, just all the things. But then once I found out I was going to be doing it with Grace, and then I realized that me and Shaniqua had touched hands and touched and agreed on FaceTime when I was shooting this show, Minority Report, years before that. We had never met each other in person. And we touched and agreed on FaceTime. We were going to work together one day. Wow. Cut to,
She's the sweetest. We spent some time together. I think she's just so great.
Yeah, she's special.
And then Jerry.
Just
We miss y'all together. I think the people miss, like, golly, that was such a great show. I watched every episode. Was so like devoted to making sure I didn't miss nothing, running it back. There was just so much joy in that show, and just seeing you try to figure out who you gonna be with, girl, and it was so much fun, so much fun to watch.
Thank you.
So I wanted to get into the D word, divorce.
Oh yes, this is.
I am a married woman.
Yes.
Thank God I have not had to cross that sea. But I can imagine that was scary in ways. And I know that there's a lot of women out there that are fearful of getting out of something that isn't working for them. And I just wanted to know, like, how, if you have anything to share with that, of being scared of that huge change in your life,
It turned out to be the biggest blessing for both of us, and now for his wife and me and my husband, and and it's like, I think that, well, there's so much I could say, but the gist of it is at the time I was so mad at God and I was so confused, and I was so like, well, Lord, you told me to marry this person, and like, you knew that my worst fear was to get a divorce, the 10 years, just like my mom and dad did. And what happened? I got a divorce at 10 years. And, and somebody else said to me, well, do you think that you manifested? I'm like, no, I didn't manifest it. It was just my fear, But I got over that fear maybe like year 4 and had not thought about it since, and thought like, no, And then when it did ultimately happen, I was just like, Lord, I just don't trust you anymore. I was like, you bamboozled me.
Yeah.
Like, I felt lied to. And it took me, that full, year of just like constant therapy, constantly crying it out. That's one of those 7 months where I was like, no, I'm not drinking. I just need to be like really in front of the Lord and really just work through it. And what I realized is like, God didn't lie about anything. Everything God said was true at that time. That was my husband at that time.
Yeah.
Everything that I needed to get from that, I got from that. Everything I needed to give to that, I gave to that. And we're both better because of it. I know I'm a better wife because of that experience.
And that's what I wanted to ask
and like,
you
too. And I know more of who I am in this season, and everything that's necessary for me in this season. I'm just extremely happy and extremely thankful. And I know I could not have gotten here had I not gone through things that allowed me the space to see things differently, to experience things differently. I think I love way deeper because I don't have any fear. The worst thing that could happen to me in my mind outside of death happened. And once that happened, it was like, well, there's nothing to be afraid of now because you already walked through that.
Right.
So then it gave me the capacity to love my husband in a totally just, I mean, amazing. It's just so wonderful. The person he is, the adventure, the life that we have together, the way we interact with each other, the way we see parenthood, all of that. I'm just like, this is going to be a journey, like a life adventure with you, even, the days that don't feel adventurous, it's still adventurous.
What has that been for you? Like, have you always known you wanted to be a mom?
No.
Because for me, I was the same. I did not know I wanted to be a mom. I was not here for motherhood. I wasn't here for wifehood, none of the hoods. And then something happened. I'm so serious.
Yeah.
Something happened, and one day I just was like, yo, I wanna be a mom.
Yeah.
I wanna do this. And it's been the best decision I could have ever made.
Yeah.
So it was like, how was it? You just like...
I think when I was younger, I wasn't sure. I felt like they just kind of tell you you're supposed to want that. And I just didn't like that. I was like, how about I decide what I want?
Me.
And then I think for a long time, I felt like, oh, I guess like I'm supposed to want it now. And I kind of did, but I just was like, oh, I just don't want to give up my freedom. And I just, blah, blah, blah. And then I think right around turning 40 is when I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do this. But then I think when Jonathan and I got together is when I became genuinely excited about it, where I was like, oh, I want to do this with you. Like, I want what this is going to be.
That's the thing. Like, you got to have the right partner.
Yeah.
Truly. I feel like if you want to have a partner in having a child, because some people say they want to do it on their own, and that's fair too.
That's beautiful.
But if you want a partner, locking in with the right one is so crucial.
Yeah, and I think it's also like where you are in life, I know that I'm in a space where I'm like, I've done everything I want to do. Everything else I want to do, I'll do better as a mom, And so everything else I don't, like, I feel, and for a long time I was like, well, I don't want to not be able to do this, or I want to not be able to do that, or, and it's like, no, I've done all that stuff. Like, I really... what I want to do that I haven't done is be a mom.
Yeah. Like, I just took Freya to New Zealand. And it was the coolest experience to get to take this little 6-year-old and rock around and introduce her to these foods and the culture. And like, it was so cool. So I'm excited for you with that. I knew Jonathan before you did. I knew Mr. Majors for a long time ago when I was still in school and he was thinking or going to go to grad school and auditioning. And so I met him at the audition. And when I tell you, and from there we just became friends because I was dating somebody and he knew they were tight, whatever. And when I look at little Mr. Jonathan Majors, and I say to myself, he got the one and only Meagan Good. I just would have never in my wildest, like, if somebody just was paying me $1 million, I would have been like, what? You did what? I just think it's so funny because I just knew him when we were babies. Like probably like 19, 20 years old, and to see him so happy with you and has just adjusted so, well to his challenges in life and everything by having you by his side. I just think it's super dope. So I just had to say I'm very happy that y'all are both happy, like you were saying of like being divorced and now in this new wonderful relationship. Like what now do you bring that you've learned from,
Well, when you asked me before, what would I say to someone? I would say, the best for you is yet to come. If God has allowed it, then God will bring you through it. And God will not just bring you through it, God will bring you through stronger and better and more equipped and wholer and happier. And I think that everything, even the things that are seemingly bad, are used for our good and for God's glory. And so trust even when it doesn't look the way you think it should look, even when it doesn't seem fair, it doesn't seem right, or you even feel like, well, that's not what you said. It's like, no, you got to trust that what God says is what God says, and that's the right thing, and it's going to be right for you. It just may not look the way you think it's supposed to look, but it's going to look exactly the way it's supposed to look. And that is the biggest thing that I learned from all of it, is when I began to trust God again, and I realized it was me who had decided, well, it's supposed to be like this. No, this and this and that and this and that. All this is true. It just looked different, you know? Once I discovered that, it not only increased my faith, but it just made me less afraid of everything. I was just like, whatever it is, it's always going to be okay. And that also goes to what we were talking about earlier in our careers. It's like what we do for a living literally is a faith walk.
Hell yeah.
When you're going to get your next job, if you're going to get your next job.
How much money you going to make.
Exactly.
How much money you make.
Yeah.
Everything. How it's going to affect your family.
Yes.
All of the things.
All of it. It's a faith walk every single day. So we're in such a unique position to be faithful and to constantly be challenged, to be reminded what we say, what we believe, you know? And so I think that's a blessing. That's why I love getting on planes, you know? It's just like, you have to trust that the Lord's going to bring you from here to here.
I don't like getting on planes because I got to trust that the Lord going to get me from here to here.
Yeah.
I be stressed
but there's nothing you can do, you know? It's
Ain't nothing.
We can only do the best that we can do up to the point at where we can do it, and the rest is on God. And I think that reminder is healthy.
I don't want the reminder. Yeah, I do and I don't, okay?
That's the glass half full, though. It's like, because we got to get on the plane. Yes. So I got to choose how I'm going to think about it.
That's a good analogy, though.
Yeah.
For sure. Girl.
That was such a real laugh. You're like,
Lord. Okay, so I have my friend here, Miss Pearly. Miss Pearly holds a few questions for you that I'd love for you to dig into. Let's see what she gets.
Okay. Let's see. If you could go back and whisper one thing to a younger version of yourself, what would it be? It's all going to work out.
What age is this you're talking to?
Probably 19. A lot happened around 19, and I realized it was a very specific year for me, and I discovered a lot and kind of was reset on my journey around 19. Both really good things and some bad things. And I think I knew that it was going to work out because there's no other choice, but I wish that it wasn't because there was no other choice, just that I just knew in my heart. That was the age that I was like, am I supposed to be in this business? You know, am I going to be able to make this transition from child actor to adult actor? That was the year that I went through an assault. And that was just the year that I was just like in this place of getting to know God in a different way. And I had not grown up in the church. And then when I got saved when I was around 12 or 13, I became extremely religious, like to the point of where none of my friends would tell me, like when they lost their virginity, and like everyone's like, "Oh God, don't tell me," you know.
Yeah.
And then I had lived so long trying to do everything right and constantly beating myself up and constantly feeling like guilty about missing the mark. But I got to a point of like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like this is just like, I don't see where this is getting me or what's the point of it. And so I had so many different things going on at that time. And so it was a transitional age for me. And I knew ultimately that everything would work out, you know.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
It's deep,
yeah,
you know.
It's crazy.
It's not a little thing to share. So I know someone will get some healing from hearing that.
Yeah.
We got one more?
Yes. Okay. How has the way you let people in or keep them out shaped your life? I think in the past, I kind of just used to let everyone in. And I think as I've gotten older, I'm a lot more selective. about my space, my time, my peace, my home, my everything. And in the past, I think when I may have wanted to be that reason, be that way, I felt guilty because I felt like, well, I got to be like this good person and I got to do this and I got to do that. And I realized that part of being good is just being authentic to whoever you are in every season and owning that, even if there's things you want to work on. And so in this season, I've been so much more selective about who I allow in my space, how I spend my time, having no problem with saying, no, I don't want to do that. Or like, no, I'm not going to come to that. Well, why not? You got something to do? No, I just don't want to come. I just want to be on the couch with my husband. Yeah, that's just what I want to do, you know? And so that's been really wonderful for me in this season, because as a, child actor or former child actor, you spend a majority of your life trying to, at least for me, please people. And then the Meaganism was show people that I'm a good person, that I'm a kind person, that I'm this, that I'm that. Maybe then they will love me or like me or whatever it is. And learning over time that those who see you, that are in tribe with you, they'll know. They recognize your spirit. Just like you recognize my spirit, I recognize your spirit, And those who don't know, it's not that they don't know because of something that you haven't done. It's because they don't know inside themselves what they're trying to figure out. It has nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of them and actually not you. And so I think how I've let people in and how I've kind of held people out has taught me all of that and shaped me in this season that I'm so much in gratitude that I've been able to get to. I really like the 40s.
What season is this? What is this Meagan Good season?
It's about to be 45 in August. I'm about to be 45, yeah. I'm in awe. When I think about the entire journey thus far, I just have so much joy and so much gratitude and so much peace. And I've always been incredibly self-aware and like, oh, okay, Meagan, you're doing this because of that, or you're feeling like this because of that. Like I can diagnose myself almost to a T. And I'm also very receptive to when someone says something that resonates in my spirit. And I can just be real with myself. But in this season, I feel like all those things have come together in a way that has allowed a tremendous amount of freedom and fearlessness and maturity and just ability, and just ability to do whatever I want to do. So
speaking of doing whatever you want to do, can we get into this entrepreneurial spirit that you have?
Yes.
So you have Nebula 9.
I have Nebula 9, which I brought some for the crew to taste. I would love for y'all to taste it. Let me know what you think.
And that's a liqueur, not a liqueur.
Yes.
I just like talking fancy.
Well, I mean, it's a liquor, but it's still like a,
Put us on, girl.
Period.
So yeah, me and Meagan are in a season of not drinking right now.
Yes, we're dry right now. Just for the moment being.
Girl.
So what I love about this Nebula 9 is it has apple cider vinegar in it.
Yes.
Which means it gets into your system quicker. But it also helps your liver go through quicker. What? So while you feel the buzz faster, it also comes through quicker, so you get sober.
Okay.
It has no added sugars. That's the stuff that gives us like the hangover and makes us feel terrible, especially as we start to listen and back fat. Yes, and back neck fat and all that stuff. So it's vegan, it's gluten-free, no additional sugars, it's organic, and everything in it is just all natural. And so with apple cider vinegar, I was like, look, I can't say that it's healthy because alcohol can never be healthy, but this is the best that you absolutely gonna get.
I love
My husband said, don't say that you can't get a hangover, but I say, if you can get a hangover, then you might have bigger problems in the hangover with these because you shouldn't be able to. But if you can, then I think you might need to go see somebody. But these are just, I'm really proud of these, and they're very, very tasty. And the apple cider vinegar was the thing that just really kind of got me because I could be up, in the middle of the night watching whatever, some TV show on Netflix at 10 o'clock at night and still get up at 4:30 and go to the gym and actually feel genuinely energized.
I want to try.
Come on, y'all.
Okay, everybody is raising their hands.
This is really good.
Tell me about about my favorite, honor culture.
Honor culture is
this stuff is so swaggy.
Thank you.
Like you and Jonathan was just like, we want to start a brand because y'all work out so much.
Well, it's so crazy because while we were, going through all the craziness of the seasons and everything that was going on, working out really became a place for mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health, and all of that. And he plays zero games when it comes to health and fitness and all of that. Yeah, but I already, I was technically a very fit person, but when I started training with him, I saw my body started transforming in a completely different way.
Nice.
And at that time, my godfather just passed away. And my brother-in-law, he had just lost his mother. And, everybody within my circle was going through something and struggling through something. And by the time you know it, there's about 25 of us going to the gym and Jonathan's training all of us.
Dang.
And what we realized was not only were our bodies transforming very, very quickly, quicker than I'd ever seen before, especially for someone in their 40s, but things were coming off of us that, you sit there and you go to therapy and you cry it out and all the things, but there's some things that can only come off of you through physical exertion and movement. And so what we found is a lot of the sessions afterwards, we would just end up sitting there crying and just feeling like we had released and unlocked something that was on us that we just couldn't get off. And it really became about honoring our journeys and honoring each other and honoring the community and honoring our bodies and our mental health. And that became kind of the culture of just honoring. So then it became honor culture. And then what we would wear to the gym became, the apparel. So this
is a
whole
a hoodie. gang out there. You know what I'm saying? Look at this.
That we just released this one.
And I work out all the time.
The girl sweatpants that are coming out. They're like stretch pants, but like workout pants. We've got other sweatpants that are called the hero pants. This is the Bishop hoodie, which I brought one for you.
Ooh, thank you, girl.
Yeah.
I love me a hoodie.
And it's so comfy. And the quality, and it's made in LA.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's like a little croppy situation.
I love it. I'm about to put it on right now.
Yes.
Let me put on my hoodie. Thank you, friends. Okay.
And then I had a bucket hat for you too.
Oh, I love me a bucket hat.
Girl,
I'm gonna buy some stuff. You can spoil me, but I'll still purchase.
Yes.
Oh my God. And it fits so well. Get into it. Let me get into it. What you think?
It look good.
I love it. The last thing we do here is something called Light It Up.
Okay.
So this is an opportunity for you and myself to light it up for someone.
Okay.
And I'm going to start. And I'm going to light it up for you, sis, because I don't think you've gotten enough flowers.
Oh.
I know that you just got the Impact Award, but we talked about, how long we've been in this industry. You've been in it for 30 plus years. I've been in it for 14. And I've had so many ups and downs in my 14 years of being in this industry. So I can only imagine the things that you have witnessed, experienced, been through, that you have overcome. And those things have truly impacted me, as a young artist. So thank you for pushing through, everything that you've endured has impacted me. And so this is for you and all of the young girls coming up under us.
Yes.
That if they, get to a point in their career where they become famous in 13 hours, that they'll wear those leggings with those holes in it and be all right.
Yes.
That is for you and for them. So I'm lighting it up for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay, what about you?
Oh, let's see. I'm gonna light it up for you.
Oh.
Yeah, just because like when we were talking off camera and you were sharing some of your experiences, and because I know how hard and how crazy the journey is. And yes, it's unique to every one of us, but that we do have absolutely in common, especially being Black women.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we show up is different than any other types of human beings in the world. And so, and what we're faced with is different, And so I'm lighting it up for you and your journey and every good thing that has come and every incredible thing that is to come. and every desire that you have in your heart, especially the ones that seem far away. I hope they come ASAP and are magnified massively.
Ashe. Thank you, sis.
Yeah.
Let's blow it out together. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for coming to the Intermission. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to share, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a conversation. If this conversation gave you something to think about or laugh about or share, do me a favor and like this video, drop a comment, and send someone who needs to hear it this video. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time on the Intermission.